Hi, everyone. Welcome to June. Are we in June? Gosh, I've forgotten what month we're in. Are we in
Yeah.
June? Welcome to the June Stamp It Your Way chaotic video of the month. That's our
They just think this is good. You guys just don't know what's happening behind the scenes. We have issues. We have technical issues, but we're here and we're happy, right? We're happy. Are we happy?
I don't know. There's no alcohol in this drink, so I'm not sure how happy I am. I should be happier if there's alcohol in there, but I'm pretty happy.
Well, you can see by my window back here that it was daylight and now it's dark. So we started this a while ago and it's just been so much fun and we're happy to be here with you. So I'm
Very
gonna go ahead and get started. My name's Mary Ellen Stites and my business name is Create With Me and I'm here in Illinois, Central Illinois. If you're not familiar with me, I'm so glad that you've joined me and I'm gonna let you go to my partner here and she's gonna introduce herself.
Hey everyone, I am Betsy M.E. I am in Lewistown, Pennsylvania. My business is BCreative Stamping, and I'm in Central Pennsylvania. So if you're not familiar with me, definitely look me up, ask any questions. The two of us are here. We have teamed up together to just get together on a monthly basis and have this fun stamp night with you. And we're so glad you're here. Please make sure that you subscribe to our channels so that you don't miss any of the fun that we're having on a monthly basis, which is a lot. We have a good time.
But we have some fantastic cards tonight, right? We have some great cards. So you're going to want to stay tuned. And you know what? We're okay if you've like fast forward a little bit. We've even included where the cards are. Like if you listen to us and you're like, "Bah," it's okay. But if you really want some fun and some joking around, stay tuned and watch the whole video. That's okay too. So we're good either way. So I want to tell you about a couple of things because it's June 28th and we've only got a couple of days left in June, Betsy. And there's two fantastic promotions that are going on right now. And one is we've got 15% off of selected designer series paper, which we love our designer series paper. We love it. Yes, the Let's Go Fishing or the Gone Fishing paper is Let's Go Fishing, I think, is that paper. And it's beautiful. And there's so many beautiful ones. I just got done doing product share and I was like, every single one, I'm like, oh my gosh, so good. So make sure you've only got 2 days left for 15% off of selected papers. Take a look at that at stampinup.com. And then you also have a great promotion right now for joining the community. So we love hobby demonstrators. So if your wish list is big, stay tuned. This is for you. So right now, and you're going to go, well, I don't really want to start a business. That's okay. If you want a discount right now for $99, which $99, that's pretty good. You're going to get $155 worth of product of your choice. It's not what Stampin' Up picks for you. It's your choice. $155 and free shipping. So that's another like what is that? 10%?
11.
Like 11.
Yeah, 11%.
An additional 11%. So it's a fantastic deal. If you've got a big wish list, because we do have a new catalog that just came out like at the 1st of May. So, I mean, it's still kind of fresh. So there's probably a lot of things on your list. So
did you know that you get a free paper pumpkin in with your starter kit too?
I know. Thank you for mentioning that. And you get a free paper pumpkin. I mean, there's so much. There's so much in your starter kit. But that doesn't mean you have to do what Betsy and I do. That just means that you can enjoy the hobby of rubber stamping and the art of paper crafting. And so if this is something that you're interested, please reach out. If you're in Betsy's area, reach out to her. And if you're in my area, reach out to me. And we're happy to give you more information. It doesn't mean you're saying I'm going to jump right in, but it just means I want more information. Just send us a message, via our Facebook page or just send us an email. So we're happy to talk to you about that. Right, B?
Absolutely. This is a low stress zone. This is all about just getting together with friends and enjoying what we love and sharing what we love. And so Mary Ellen taught me this a long time ago, and it's something that has always stuck in my head. If I have a plate of chocolate chip cookies, am I going to share that with people around me? Well, for anybody that knows me, they would probably know with chocolate chip cookies, if they're soft and chewy, I ain't sharing. You're not getting any of my cookies. But
crunchy ones, on the edge were soft in the middle. So
crunchy, you can have whatever you want of those crunchy cookies. I'll take the soft and chewy ones. But so what the theory of that is that if I have something that I have, why wouldn't I share that with you? And that's what we're trying to do with Stampin' Up! Is that we love it so much. Why wouldn't we share that love with you and say, hey, we think you would love this just as much as we do? And and she's right. There's no requirement to sell. There's no requirement to recruit. There's no requirement for any of that. It's just, it's not about the stamps, ink, or paper. It's about, us and being together with friends and just having a good time, right?
Definitely about relationships, because I mean, where would we be without each other? And it's because of Stampin' Up, right?
We didn't know each other before Stampin' Up. My best friends and my family is all Stampin' Up! Demonstrators that I would not have known if I had not taken that leap and signed up to be a demonstrator. It's amazing to me.
That's right. So let's go ahead and get started with what we're working on tonight, because I know you're anxious for the project. So I'm going to turn it over to Betsy. Yeah, it's all you, be.
All right. Got to put my eyeballs on because I can't see anything anymore. It's like this whole turning 50 and higher. It's like, ugh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what we're showing this month is going to be the Gone Fishing Suite. I think it's the Let's Go Fishing Suite and the Gone Fishing Bundle. So that's right, right?
Yes, that's right.
Excellent. So this is the stamp set, and it's a great little stamp set. Now we're a little bit past Father's Day, but you know what? We can celebrate our dads, our husbands, our sons. We can celebrate them all year long. Don't tell them we said that, but we could celebrate them all year long, right?
That's right.
That's right. So
they're fantastic masculine cards. That's what you're trying to say.
I am. Exactly. I am. So here's a funny story is that my dad is a really big fisherman. He goes fishing. He's, trout season, that sort of thing. He's all there. But so this is the perfect like suite and products to use for a card for my dad. But I am so bad. I have no idea what these things are called. Like, is that a bobber?
Bobber. I had to ask my husband. And then after I did my card and I was writing up the tutorial, I said, what's this again? Remind me what this is again? So I can write the right term, because we want to be right. I get it. I get it.
You might look at my tutorial, and my tutorial might just say stamp the image, because I can't guarantee that I put in bobber, because I was like, I don't know what that's called. So I don't know what I put in my tutorial.
A bobber, a spoon. There's a spoon. There's a stick bobber in the dies. It's there's a lot, but
yeah, there is a lot. So speaking of those dies, look at all these dies, right? There's so many dies that come with this. And Mary Ellen's going to show you the cutest little tackle box, and that's what these little dies, these larger dies, oh my gosh, it's really stuck to my paper. These larger dies are for is to create like this little tackle box. So there's the dies, I mean, so many dies that come with this, and then of course the stamp set, and then we have the amazing paper. Mine is still, you got to see it. Look at all those. I just love this, right? Because some of the dies match it, right? So I love the fact that Stampin' Up! Has done this now, is that they've allowed you to take a die and match it up to the designer series paper. If I can find one on this sheet that matches, which it doesn't look.
And that one right in the middle fits, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. And my two are going in the opposite direction. If I had one going in the right direction, I might be able to line that up. Actually, no, there you go. Sorry. It helps if I turn the die.
Okay, good.
There you go.
The fish was upside down.
Obviously, I do not fish. Obviously, this is not my area of expertise. So you can see that the dies will match some of the paper. You've got this great paper here that also that you can kind of fussy cut these little guys out. You've got this great checked pattern. You've got lures on here. It's great because you have all of these masculine, just neutral patterns on the back. This is a great one for almost like a barnwood, like a blue barnwood. You've got some water. This one's nice because it's got the nautical there. Can you see that? Isn't that cool? So all of these, there's fly fishing rods, and you've got some other ones back here. So you've got a lot of choices when it comes to the designer series paper. And as Mary Ellen was saying, this is definitely on sale this month, just for a couple more days. So don't miss out on it. If you got this kit this month, you got a half pack of this paper. So that was included in your kit. A couple other things in this suite. The other thing that comes in this suite is the rope. Is it twisted rope? Do you know?
Yeah, 3D twisted rope 3D folder.
There you go. So that's the twisted rope folder. Mary Ellen's actually using this on one of her cards. I am not. You could on my card. If you have this, you could use this on your card. I'm actually going to be using, I think this is one of my new favorite folders, is the exposed brick folder. Just love this exposed brick folder. I've been using the heck out of it. So I'm going to be using that folder, but we didn't emboss for you. You can emboss with anything that you have at home that will work. Also included in your packet, if you got the packet from us, was a half a pack of the foam adhesive sheet strips, which Mary Ellen's going to be showing on her card. And then we also included, there's the In Color New jute trim, and I'm going to show that on my cards. We gave the not only the wild wheat, but we also gave the boho blue. So you got one whole spool of that. So it's kind of nice, right? Lots of things that are coming in your packet. Okay, so we're going to start with my card first. My cards first here. And the first one I'm going to be doing is the wild wheat card. And for it, you're going to need 2 stamps. So you're going to need this. Do you know what that's called? Any ideas? Is that a fly? Is it a hook? What is it?
I think that's a fly for fly fishing. Don't you?
It?
I think it might be.
I think we're going to make things up as we go, and we're going to name things whatever we want to name them.
I'm pretty sure that you would consider that a fly.
There you go. So we're going to be using this stamp, and then I'm using congrats. Now, if you didn't want to use congrats and you had a different stamp set at home, you could obviously change that out, but let me show you what that is. For the dies, I'm only using that die that has for the fly. So that's what I'm using for this upcoming card. The inks I'm using for this are Wild Wheat and Mossy Meadow. So in the packet, everybody got their card base, right? And then they got an envelope. They also got a piece for the inside of Very Vanilla. And then they had 2 pieces of the Mossy, Mossy Meadow. They had a piece for stamping and die cutting. There was some designer series paper, and then this little Very Vanilla piece, and then a piece that I have embossed, but you would just have piece that you would emboss at home.
And the designer series paper, they'll cut themselves from the their paper.
Correct, from what they received, yeah. And these measurements, just so you know, these measurements, so this one here is 1 5/8 by 2 1/2. And this is one little checked one here is going to be 1 3/8 by 2. Okay. And of course, if you got the tutorials, that's in your tutorial, but I just wanted to mention it. So let me show you the card quickly so you can kind of get an idea of what we're making. Isn't that pretty? Just a fun way of using that designer series paper, getting a little bit and having that embossed folder in the background. And there, of course, is the inside. So let's get this one going here. So I'm going to go ahead and fold my card base in half. All right. And then I pre-embossed this. So you would emboss this at home, right? With whatever folder you're using. I went ahead and embossed it. But what I wanted to do is you really can't see it. Wild wheat on wild wheat really blends in, right? So you're not seeing that very well. So I wanted to have this have a little bit of a better look. So I'm going to use my Mossy Meadow ink and a sponge dauber. And I'm just inking that up a little bit. And then I'm lightly, very lightly, just taking that sponge dauber and kind of running it over those embossed images, right? So where it's embossed, I just wanted to add a little bit of extra shading. Am I saying that right? Am I adding a little bit of extra color so that now it pops a little bit more? I can see it better. Now you can kind of choose which side, like the exposed brick, you can kind of choose which side you want. So you can kind of see this side. Let me bring that a little closer for you. See that?
Yeah, that looks good.
Right? Or you can use the other side. So you could use it where a lot of people have said that, oh, with the exposed brick, really, I want to be able to see the brick and the grout should be going down. So let me do this one. So you can see the difference. Only takes but a second. There's no right way or wrong way, but look at how the grout kind of goes down, like it looks a little bit more brick.
Yeah.
Versus that one. You see the difference?
Yes.
Right? So you have choice, especially with that brick folder, the exposed brick folder. Oh, I need that out. You can kind of have choice on what you want to do. I kind of like this side better just for me. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one, and I'm going to add this. Oh, it helps if I have my glue. I'm going to go ahead and add that. And that glue is just about on the empty side. So let's get a new one. I'm going to add a little bit of glue and add that to the front. Easy. Now this piece, these are going to go inside it, just like that. See that? So this is a really nice card layout to use whenever you've got some designer series paper that you want to show off and you just want to have a little bit of a greeting or something like that. This is a really great little layout to do that. So I'm going to stamp congrats on this one. This would be a nice like guy graduation card or something like that if you've got some graduates just here in the month of June. And I'm going to stamp this. I'm going to bring that a little closer to me just so I can make sure I get that straight. I'm going right in the center. There we go. And then I'm going to just start to adhere this. Did you have any graduates that you had to send out cards to this year?
I did not this year. I usually do. The only thing I do is I always make the cards for the music department at our high school. My kids are long out, but luckily they still ask me year after year to make the cards for the graduating band and choir.
Cool.
So I love it. I love to do it every year.
That is such a great, that's so nice to be able to do that and be able to stay in touch with the school and still give that personal touch, you know?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I did have my cousin's daughter graduated from Susquehanna University, so I was able to give her a nice graduation card. And
is that Pennsylvania?
It is Pennsylvania. Yep. Susquehanna University. Yep. Okay, so that is complete. Now what I want to do is I wanted to add just a little bit more decorative to it. So I took the new jute twine, and you have a piece that was in there. And now this is kind of thick. It's a very thick twine, but I didn't want that thick of a twine to go around my front. So what I did was I actually started to take the pieces apart. So I just kind of rub it a little bit with my fingers, kind of break those fibers up, and then find the various, there's like actually 3 threads in that twine that you can kind of break apart. Do you see that?
Yeah, I love that idea.
Right? So you can pull these 3 apart and get 3 separate, smaller, thinner twines to use on your cards. So I've already kind of pre-done that for here tonight. And what I did was I took a piece and I kind of separated it out. And I'm going to take 2 of those. The other one I'm going to kind of put aside and use that later. But I want to use this one, and this is 2 of them here. And if you've got some really weird pieces, you can always give it a little haircut, which I might end up doing here. But I want to go ahead and just wrap that around. I don't need a huge piece. You can see I don't need a lot. It's just enough to give it enough to kind of wrap around and tack on. So I'm going to add a little bit of Seal Plus here on the back, just to have something, whoops, just to have something to attach that. Ooh, Seal Plus, if you've noticed, is very, very sticky. So if you notice, sometimes it can pull off the paper. Okay. If it happens, just kind of advance it and then grab another section of it. Okay. But there, that should be enough to kind of hold my twine. And I'm gonna run that right there. And I just turn it over and I kind of tack it to where that is sticky and then cut off any extra. And then you have plenty to do more or use it on something else. So there is my twine. And like I said, if you've got like stray little pieces, you can kind of pull them off, or if you need to, just give it a little haircut, you know, just trim off those little guys. Easy. I'm going to use some dimensionals. There we go. To pop this up. And if you want to make sure that like that twine isn't going to move, throw a dimensional on top of it, just like that. That not only helps it kind of pop up a little bit, but it also will keep that twine from kind of coming loose later. I don't think it will with that Seal Plus, but you just never know. So I'm going to put that in the center of my card right there. Now what I want to do is I want to stamp and die cut. So I'm going to use the Wild Wheat, and I'm going to stamp this fly hook thingy dingy here. And you're actually going to probably, because you have 2 cards in your packet, you're going to stamp it twice, right? Then you're going to use your die and you're going to cut that out. And this is what I'm going to end up with, is that. So I'll set that aside. Now what I want to do is I'm going to use a dimensional or 2. I think I just used the one big one. I don't think I need anything more than that. You could use some of the mini ones, but I wanted to just kind of pop that up here underneath. So it just gives it a little bit of an accent, right? I'm also using the brushed metallic adhesive dots on this. And I'm using these, I think there's gold, copper, and what would you call that other color? Do you know?
Bronze, maybe?
Bronze, maybe? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to use 3 of those right there. And there's the front of my card. Easy, right?
I love it.
And then I want to stamp my inside. So I'm going to go ahead again. I'm going to ink that up. And I'm going to stamp that fly on the inside piece. And then I can also do that on my envelope. Let me close that so I don't put my fingers in it. And then this guy's going to go in the inside. Ta-da! 1 card down. Easy peasy, right? Look at that. Super simple, easy to duplicate, mass produce kind of thing, that sort of thing. And again, you can kind of change out that greeting if you wanted something different in there. So there's the first card. Congrats. Okay. Moving on to card number 2, which is going to be the blue one that looks like this. Here you go. So glad that you're my dad. Now this one has a little bit of a fun fold to it. Oh, let me bring that down a little bit so you can see it a little better. This one has a fun fold to it. So it opens like this. And I'm not really sure what you call it. A triple panel card, maybe? I don't know if it has a name. I've been calling it triple panel card. But what it does is it opens like this so that you have those panels on either side. See that? Isn't that cute?
Super cute.
Okay, this one is really easy to do. Okay, so in your packet, you're going to have a little bit of the boho blue twine. I'm going to set that aside. You've got a 4x4 piece, which is probably way bigger than what you need to be able to do some die cutting, stamping and die cutting. There are pieces for the front. Okay, that's where your words are going to go. You want to cut the designer series paper, okay, to get your pieces for the top and the bottom. You, of course, have a card base, which is the Misty Moonlight. I am so happy this color came back. I just love it. And it matches perfectly with the boho blue. And the boho blue is what we have for 3 different pieces, 3 panels here. And then we have a piece for the inside, of course, and then again, our envelope. So let me set these extras aside. I'm going to do my card base first. And what we need is we need to score it. So I'm bringing in my Simply Score. Hopefully you can see that okay. So I'm bringing in my Simply Scoreboard. Now, you could score this with a paper trimmer, but I'll be honest with you, I find that I get a little bit of a better measurement using the Simply Score. I find it matches up better versus if I do it on my paper trimmer and score it with my paper trimmer. So just be aware of that. When you're scoring with the Simply Score, remember there are two ends to your stylus. There is a small little ball end and there's a larger ball end. When you are scoring cardstock, you want to use the smaller end because you can get a little bit of a deeper score. But when you're scoring designer series paper, use the larger end because you don't want to go too deep or you'll rip or cut the paper. So the little ball is better for your cardstock. So we are going to score at 2 1/8. So I find that mark up here at the top and I just bring my score straight down. And I'm going to rotate that paper and I'm going to do it again, 2 1/8 again. So I'm just doing 2 1/8 on either side. And that's it. How easy was that? Right? I like fancy folds that are easy. And what I want to do then is I'm just going to fold that in and they're going to meet like right in the middle. See that? Easy. And then just give it a nice score with your bone folder. There we go. And I don't know about you, but it kind of drives me bonkers to have any kind of mess on my sheet.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh, you're my people. It's been bugging me. I'm like, you're gonna keep using
it's gotta go.
I need it to go away.
I need it clean.
I'm the same way. Oh my gosh, I'm the same way. Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel
Every card I do has to have like a new sheet. I know some people that have theirs completely covered and it doesn't bother them. Not me, man. I gotta have a new sheet. I gotta have clean.
I knew there was a reason we were friends. That's it, right there.
It wouldn't be because we're both weird or anything, but yeah.
No, that's not right.
I'm so glad you get me.
I do.
All right. So we're going to have 3 panels that are going to go across the front of this card. And 2 of them obviously are going to have designer series paper on it. And then 1 of them is going to have where we're going to stamp our greeting. So I'm going to go ahead and put on this designer series paper. I thought you were going to say, you can't throw that out. It's got so much more use available.
No.
Yep. Can't do it.
I drive people crazy because I don't like it like that. And they're like, give me that paper. It's still good.
So good. You know, some people have like desk calendars, right? You have your desk, those big, huge desk calendars, right? So I'm a doodler. I cannot help it. If I'm on the phone, my grandmother used to shuffle cards. She used to, because she couldn't keep her hands still. So she used to shuffle cards. And I think I get that from her where it's like, I just feel like I have to doodle all the time. So I can't have one of those desk calendars because I would doodle on it and I'd immediately want to pull off June and it would be like June 1st. And I'd be like, oh, I can't have June on there anymore. It's all doodled. So silly. Okay, let's stamp. All right, I forgot to tell you what you needed. All right, so in this one, we're going to use quite a few stamps in this one. So we've got the bobber, but then you have like, it's a 2-step stamping. So this is the outline, but then this is like the accent color that we can put on it. And this one is what would you call that one?
That's a sinker.
A sinker, there you go. So we're going to use the sinker and it's the same way. It's got the 2-step stamping. So I've got the sinker and then I've got the detail that's going to go in it. So I am using those 4 stamps. And then I'm also using So Glad You're My Dad and Happy Father's Day. Okay. Which I did tell my dad the other day that I was just like, I have a Father's Day card for you, but I haven't sent it yet. And I promised to send it, but I just haven't gotten there yet. In your dies, you're going to need the one that goes with the bobber and then the one that goes with the sinker. Pretty easy, right? Just those 2 that'll go with it. So I've got all of these stamps kind of out and I'm going to go ahead and stamp So Glad You're My Dad. I'm using Misty Moonlight ink and I'm using Calypso Coral ink. And if you're ever unsure on which colors are best to use together, look at the designer series paper. So that coral colors in the designer series paper, so I know it's going to match, which always makes life easier. I am going to go ahead and use a matte because this is a photopolymer and I want to make sure I'm getting a good image. So I'm going to go ahead and use a matte there, ink up my stamp. So glad you're my dad, and put that there. Pretty. And then while I'm stamping, I'm going to go ahead and do Happy Father's Day for my inside. And I'm going to put this right about there. And also while I'm stamping, I'm going to go ahead and do one of these little bobbers down here for the inside. I'm going to put it on my envelope. And then I'm going to, on that piece of paper that you have, like something to do scrap, I gave you way more paper than you need, because obviously you're doing 2 cards, so you'll need 2 of these. And then you'll need 2 of the sinkers. Mary Ellen's thinking, you made me cut a 4x4 square of paper. Look how much paper they didn't need.
No, I didn't think that.
Sometimes well, the problem is that sometimes when I'm doing it, I don't think about how much paper they truly need. I just kind of guesstimate it. So I'm like, just give them that piece.
Well, I'll tell you, that's probably better than what I did this month, because on mine, I might have undersold a little bit, but it's white paper, so people might have to go into their scrap bin a little bit for mine. So,
and we all have scrap, you know what I mean? We all have scrap, so it's easy to do. All right. So what I did was for the sinker, or for the bobber, I just went full, and you can see, you can kind of see that. So what it's going to do is it's going to fit right into that. So all I'm doing is lining it up along the bottom, the roundness of it, and just stamping. Look at that. Cute. And you can make, the nice thing about this too is that you can make that any color you want to make it. So there's my bobbers that I'm going to die cut, and then I'm going to go ahead and keep going. I'm going to go ahead and do my envelope, and I will do the inside like that. And there's my little bobbers. And then I might as well finish out my sinkers here quickly. So with the sinker though, I didn't want it the same color. I wanted it actually to be a little bit lighter. So I stamped off first, and then I lined that up and then stamped. So that it gave it just a little bit more of a lighter tone. And since I'm stamping, I might as well just do this one too. There we go. Perfect. So there are my stamped images, nice and easy. When you die cut these, this is what you'll end up getting, are those 2 little guys. All right. So I'm going to take this out. And I am going to take my greeting, and I'm going to put this on here. This is the other 3rd panel. Now here's your trick for making this fun fold card. 2 of your panels are going to be, this is how it's going to lay out, like that. But 2 of your panels want to open this way and one opens the other way. So I'm going to glue these 2 only to the left-hand panel. So when I'm looking at that, I want to figure out, okay, what I do is I tend to line it up and say, okay, well, here's where the line is. So I'm going to pick it up, and I know that I'm only adding glue on that side. So I'm just going to add a little glue here. And then I'm going to line this up where I want it to be. I just try to keep my borders even. And I do the top and the bottom first. So I do the top first and see how that, so I don't want my adhesive to go over that. Otherwise it's going to be sticky on that side. So you be very careful. So on this one, I'm going to do the same thing, kind of figure out where the halfway mark is, turn it over, add glue just to that left side, and then line that up. Again, watching that all my borders are even. Oops. Nice thing about the liquid glue is it gives it a second or 2 to kind of shift it into position. And there's my left side panel. See it? Now I want to do this one, but I'm going to attach this one on only the right, so that it stays to the right. So I want to, again, I'm going to look at that and see where halfway is, turn it over, add my adhesive, and then I can center this one between the two, like that. And there's the front of my card. While I'm doing that, I might as well put my inside in. I am a very vanilla fan. I really like it when they come out with designer series paper that is very vanilla in it. It just gives everything just a little bit of a softer look. Basic white is nice, but it just is a little stark sometimes. So I like that very vanilla look. I'm going to go ahead and glue this bobber down flat. Just a little bit of liquid glue. Kind of put that where I want it. The sinker, I'm going to pop up. So I'm going to add a dimensional here. I'm actually going to use a big one and a mini one just to give it some, make sure it's fully adhered. You see that? And then I'm going to kind of put that hanging off there, right? So I felt like it just needed a little bit something else. So what I did was I took this jute twine and I just tied a little knot with it. Doesn't have to be super tight, but a little knot. And I'm going to use a glue dot. And I'm going to put that glue dot right there in the center, like where the holes are that the line would go through. And I'm going to trim up that twine a little bit because I don't need it super long. It's just a little accent piece. And I'm going to add my knot right there, just to give it a little bit of texture, right?
Looks good.
What do you think?
Love it.
There is card number 2. Now I can finally send my dad his Father's Day card. He's going to be so happy. All right. So those are my 2 cards. Mary Ellen, are you ready? We're going to flip it over to you now. You ready?
Sure. Okay, so I'm going to get ahead and get started on my card. So this is the first card. And I thought it was funny because Betsy did very vanilla and both of my cards use the basic white. So you've got a good variety. So here's the packet. And what you got in it was, of course, an envelope. And then you got, again, Misty Moonlight, because that goes with the paper, Misty Moonlight card base. You're going to cut your own designer series paper. I cut it so that I could demonstrate, but you're going to cut your own. The measurements are in the tutorial. And then you've got a piece of white for the inside and a piece of basic white for the outside. You've got a piece of gray granite to stamp and die cut your fish. And then we have die cut with the stitched, what are they called, B?
Stitch shapes.
Sorry, with the circle that's just a little over 2 inches in boho blue. So we've done that for you. So this card goes together really, really quickly. It's nothing hard. You're also going to get some, I'm sorry, I didn't put that in there, but you'll get some of the, this is the, oh, I almost said essentials. Is this the essentials white? Can I not think right now? This isn't wine. It's not.
You're right. It is the essentials. It's the baker's essentials. I'm pretty sure.
I just felt like maybe all of a sudden I was like, oh, wait, is that the silver? I don't know. So,
no, you're right. Baker's Twine Essential Pack. You are right on there, girl.
Cake. This is the crumb cake one. So
you got it. Yes.
Thank you. I'm going to just add my designer series paper, and I'm just using one that looks like kind of like waves, I guess. You're going to mount that to your basic white cardstock, and then it goes together fast. We're going to mount this then to our card front, and voila, we're done. Oh no, we're not done. We have to do a little stamping. So I'm going to bring in my scrap paper, and I'm going to work with, I am doing, let me find my stamps here. So I am using the word "so glad that you're my dad," which Betsy just used. And then the other 2 stamps we're going to use as the fish and the details on the fish. And those are the only stamps that we're going to use. So I'm going to stamp So Glad That You're My Dad. And I forgot to tell you what colors we're using. I'm going to stamp it with basic gray. We're going to also need Bubble Bath. I know Bubble Bath, that sounds so funny. And boho blue, and then the gray granite to stamp our fish. So we're going to start with the basic gray and stamp So Glad You're My Dad. And my pads are uber inky, so I just have to barely touch them. So I get a really nice image.
I love them when they're that inky.
There to just make sure I'm not frozen.
I
and
love them when they're that inky, because then it's just like, I know I'm going to get a nice image. Love it.
I was telling the ladies today at club, I go, all you have to do is just touch the ink pad barely. You're going to have 2 of the fish with gray granite on gray granite. Then this is kind of a little different. Whoops, I lost my little sticker here. Hold on. Oh, what happened there? Let me get that out of the way.
This is live TV, folks.
It's stuck to my fingernail. Hold on. Can't make this stuff up.
We are professionals.
Yeah, that's right. So now I'm going to take the detail stamp. This is just kind of a funny looking stamp. And what I want to do is I want to stamp the top of my fish with this Bubble Bath, and I'm just going to ink up half. I'm inking up half. Then I'm going to take my boho blue and I'm going to kind of work it up, kind of tapping around. I want to avoid getting the blue on my pink, but I want to get it good and dark. Then I'm going to turn my fish so that they're going up. And what I'm going to look at, Betsy, is this little circle, and I'm going to put my eye, I might get my head in the way. I'm going to put my eye right inside that circle and then stamp. So it's going to be really, really dark. And so this, I'm calling this a rainbow trout. I have no idea. I'm sure it's supposed to be like pink on the back or something, but I'm taking creative liberties.
Sure, that's what we do.
And I'm just going to ink up a little bit of blue. And again, I'm going to put that circle for that detail right in that eye and press down. Now it looks super, super dark, but I'm going to tell you, it's going to lighten up. It's going to soak into that paper, and it's going to lighten up. So it's a little dark. Okay, but I did some in advance, so I'm going to move these out of the way, and I'm going to show you what I did. And I die cut them for you. So see how much they've changed. I mean, it might not look like it, but they really have.
Oh, yeah, they blend in a lot more that way.
Blended in a lot. Now I'm also going to hit those with a little bit of Wink of Stella. And what I'm doing, because I think the fish kind of sparkle. It's and you know what? If it's a rainbow trout, then rainbows should be sparkly.
Exactly.
Again.
We do it. We do what we like.
My back on. I thought I froze for a minute.
Nope, you're good.
Oh, rainbows should be sparkly. And again, creative liberty.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll move those out of the way. And now we're really ready to just tie and mount our little fish. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to give it a lot of dimensionals. And I always do that when I am mounting twine under my image, because you are obstructing a lot of that adhesive by adding the twine. And I just want to make sure that I have plenty. So what I did with this one is a little different, is I doubled over. Let me cut that. I doubled my thread. Okay. And then I made a bow. I could have probably used a little bit more. Let me see if this is going to work. Hold on. I made a bow, a double bow. I got fingernails and they're a little thick, so bear with me.
The cost of beauty. Beauty always bites us in the butt, doesn't it?
I wasn't going to get them because I don't normally, but
they're very pretty.
Thank you.
Unlike mine that look like crap, but yeah, yours are very pretty.
Well, I'm trying gel for the first time. I haven't done gel before. No, it's not gel. I'm sorry, it's dipped. I've been staying away from dipped. I was worried about. I'm trying it. daughter swears by it, so we will see. The jury's still out. So on this bow, I want most of the bow to kind of hang off the side. And so I'm going to find my dimensional there, and I'm going to let that bow. I like the idea of the bow and having that loopy loop there. And then I'm going to, if you feel like, oh, I want more, then just cut more and loop it around. Just make as much loopies as you want. The nice thing about this essential twine, this crumb cake essential twine, is it is thin. It's not like the other twines. And then I'm going to take these two little fish and I'm going to put them like they're on a stringer. Dad will get it. Dad will totally get it. Or someone will totally get that. And so what I'm going to do is to make them on the stringer is I'm just going to cut some twine just like that. And I probably should have put it underneath, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a mini glue dot. I'm winging it right now.
Winging is good.
Yeah. I'm going to put a mini glue dot right here because it's going to be covered up. Now it's sticking to my fingernails. It's going to be covered up by the fish, the nose of the fish. And I'm going to start with my twine, and I've got it extra long. And I want to do it just like there's a little fish on a stringer. So I'm going to put the one fish right here. And then what I like to do, Betsy, is I like to tie a little knot. I'm going to guesstimate the bottom of my card. And I'm going to tie a little knot. And that will give me a place to hide a mini glue dot because I want my stringer. And I'm going to try to keep my knot right here. I'm just looking up, make sure I'm still on. I want to keep my knot right at the bottom of my card.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to do the same thing over here. So that way, it just gives me a little place to mount a mini glue dot, keep my stringer straight, and not have everything sticky on it because, you know, I've just got a little twine there and that's too much. So I'm going to take my mini glue dot. I'm going to roll my mini glue dot. I could roll it. I could cut it maybe, but I'm going to do it straight. And I'm going to just take the knot and press it right there. I've got that one there. And I see that this fish is a little unstable. So I want to put a little dimensional right under his belly. Just like that. And then I'm going to add this other one. Do the same thing with the mini glue dot. Just give it a roll with your finger. Just roll it with your finger so you have it in a line. And if you mount it down here on the bottom of your card, you can just lay that stringer straight on there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a little dimensional here. And I'm going to put a mini glue dot on this nose. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of tuck him under just a bit. So he's going to kind of, whoops, it would help if you took the sticker off your dimension. Oh, it's been a long day.
It has been a long day.
And tuck his nose just under there.
Oh my gosh, that is so cute.
And in person, I know you can't, I know that doesn't do it as great, but that Wink Estella really, really shines. So now I'm going to take the tinsel. I'm going to just finish it off with some embellishments because you just gotta sometimes have a little bit of bling.
You need the extra little stuff.
These beautiful blue, they're tinsel gems, the tinsel gems. So I'm just going to pick up 3 of those because I always do. It seems like I always do. Rules of 3.
Okay.
So there's the card on the outside. So we need to finish the inside. So you could do whatever you want. I'm just going to go ahead and mimic my little fish.
I was going to say, could you stamp the fish again on there? And
Stamp the fish, and actually, I don't even think I'm going to color it. I kind of like the idea of, I'm going to put a couple fish, and I kind of like the idea of the fish without color.
Yeah.
Inside. I think that because it's basic white, I think that looks really pretty with just the outline.
Yeah, the stamp has so much detail to it. Like the fish isn't just like plain. there's so much detail in that fish already that I think you're great to do it that way.
Okay, so there's our card. Yeah, I was gonna say, of course, the envelope, and Betsy's so great with it. And so I took the fish and I actually stamped them just like this. And then I think I almost want a little hook there, but maybe that's a little morbid. So we'll just stop with the fish being like this. And then here's our "So glad you're my dad" card.
I think the guys would get it. The guys would be like, hey, look at that fish you got. That'd be awesome. They would get it.
Let me do a little cleaning up, and we're gonna do the card. This card, you guys that are watching it that don't have the kid are probably gonna be like, oh, that's so cute. And you guys that have the kid are like, what were you thinking?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I looked at it and went, what were you thinking? But at the same time, it is gorgeous. It is the most gorgeous card. It is not for the faint of heart, but it is the most gorgeous card.
My goal is to make it easy for you. Okay, so that's what I'm hoping that I'm gonna do. So what you got in your packet is you got your Pebble Path cardstock for your card base. You're gonna cut your designer series paper. This one's 5.5 by 4.25. You need the full piece, and I'm going to show you how we die cut that. You're going to need 2 pieces to cut your tackle box. One is Pebble Path and one is Mossy Meadow. You're going to need a bunch of white paper for your stamping and your die cutting. And this is where I'm telling you I might have cut you a little short on this because we've got bobbers. Oh, I should show you the card. You want to see the card? Oh, now I can't find it. I moved it.
Oh, you better find it.
No, I got it. Here's the card.
Got to see the card. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh.
Box. Okay. And
that's so crazy.
I'm giving you white paper to do your bobbers, your stick bobbers, and then under this little flap. And I'm not going to show you under the little flap. It's going to be a secret. So we like secrets. So you got to have your 2 bobbers, your 2 stick bobbers, and then I think this piece was for the and you've got to cut a piece for underneath that little flap. So that's why I think I cut you a little bit short on that. So just use what you've got in your scraps. But then I've included a piece of 3x3 silver foil that you're going to cut your spoon with, and then you're going to cut your 2 little I'm going to call those sinkers, or 2 little lead weights. And you use this kind of it's silver, but it's like a purpley metallic brushed.
Yeah, it's like a dark silver.
Yeah,
very dark.
So I'm going to show you the die that you're going to cut with, and I'm going to show you how. I have already pre-cut them, but so it's a 1-inch piece. Let me just show you. If I bring in white paper, does it help the envelope? The die is 3 sinkers across. And so what I did was I just laid it on there. You could lay it like that, but I think you have to lay it on the diagonal and cut it. And then you just need 2 sinkers or 2 lead weights. So you got 2 1-inch pieces, and then you've got the silver foil. You're going to cut your spoon, and you're going to cut all these little hooks that are going to lay in the bottom of your tackle box, because this tackle box is 3-dimensional, and I'm going to give you some easy tips for it. So let's go ahead and start with our card base, and we're just going to fold the Pebbled Path paper. I love this color. Okay, Betsy's my brown girl, and this color is like a step up from the gray granite, which I do really like gray granite. And then the Pebble Path it's lovely.
This is just like a really rich brown charcoaly gray. It just makes my heart happy. I love it.
It's probably easier for me if I bring in the dies, even though I pre-cut stuff. So we're going to start with our actual tackle box, and you're going to take your Mossy Meadow, and I cut both of these at the same time, my Mossy Meadow and my Pebble Path. So what you're going to end up with, I'm going to try to bring this in here. Just give me a second.
You got it. We'll wait for you. We'll always wait for you. There you go.
Lots of pieces. Okay, so each piece plugs in. We need the green tackle box piece. We do not need this, so you can make a second card using this. We do need, I got that upside down. We do need the green piece that fits in here, which I've already pre-embossed it for you. So it's over there already. You do need all the other pieces of the pebble path. So on the pebble path, you need the inserts that normally would be the, I'll say the throwaways. And on the green one, you just need the outside. So you don't need any of these. Okay. And I'm going to show you why, except for this one. You do need it, but separately. Okay. So then you're going to cut your designer series paper, and I pre-cut it. You're going to use, you get a die just like this in the kit, in the bundle. And you're going to cut your designer series paper, and it's going to have nice rounded corners. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to lay that down on our card, and then you'll kind of see it'll come together on this side is lovely too.
Yeah, it's those fly rods. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, super pretty. Since my card is landscape, I cut my designer series paper going this way. If you cut it this way, no one's going to be the wiser. It's probably just my, just my thing. So,
I was going to say something, but I'm not.
yeah, no, I was going to say it too. So, so then you're going to lay down your designer series paper. Now we're going to take, you each got a half of a pack of the foam adhesive strips. And this is what you're going to use. And you're probably like, well, where's that for? You're going to use it on here. I'm going to give you some tips on that. So I recommend, because this card is 3-dimensional and you do see the edges, I recommend that you take a Mossy Meadow blend, if you have one, or dark, maybe the brown, maybe have a pebble path, and you're just going to run your marker along the edge.
Oh, what a brilliant genius. Oh my gosh. Like, super, wow, what a great idea.
Big difference. And so I'm going to have to do that a little bit more, but this edge just needs to be snipped. So I kind of did that in advance. Okay, then you're just going to peel this off. And I've got the green side that I colored facing out. Let me see if I got that to stick down. That's pretty good. So see how that it's camouflage.
Oh my gosh, brilliant move.
So
nice.
If that bothers you for the inside, it's super easy to just go ahead and run your marker down the inside too. I'm not gonna like stress about all that, but you just run it because you can see that white. It's the details, right? It's the little details. It's all in the details.
I am sitting here with my mouth like in awe, like what a brilliant move to not see the white. And you could do that on anything that you're having where you could see the dimensional, the edging. Right. I never would have thought to color those with my blends. What a brilliant idea.
Even like the end where I cut there, I might go in and color that. I might just.
So it doesn't show. Haha, smart.
You could bend these around. I've seen you do that, and I think that's a great idea too, where you could just bend that around.
Yeah, I just bend them and fold them around instead of cutting. That's mostly because I'm lazy.
I'm going to go ahead and finish this all the way around. So now I've got, you can see it's popped up, right? Well, I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'm going to remove the backs. I'm going to lay down my card. This is not sticking, but it will. And I'm going to lay that right. I'm going to center that right in there. Okay. So now you see that there's designer series paper. That's where these come in. These are going to be in the bottom of our tackle box. So I can just go ahead and start adhering those pieces. And I want them in all the pieces except this lower right, because this lower right is going to be my greeting. Before we do that, though, I'd like to explain about this. Let's just work on this compartment right here. This is where our concealed greeting is. So the pieces that we're going to need is we're going to need this pebble path piece right here. And then we're going to need the mossy meadow piece that we took out. And so I've got it here. And what I did was I pre-embossed that with the rope folder. Can you see that? It's pre-embossed with the rope folder.
Pretty.
Okay, so I'm going to bring in my cutter. You could use snips, I think would be perfectly fine. And I'm going to show you why I need to do what I'm doing. Because I'm going to put a flap door on this, my door has to be a little bit longer. So what I did, hold on. What I did was let me get this in the camera. I took off about, oh gosh, 1/8 of an inch, maybe. I just went to this edge here. So I'm going to just take, maybe I'll go a little bit more just because I can. I've got something in my chamber, but I'm cutting that just like that in 2 pieces. And the reason I'm doing that is because I need to make my flap a little bit longer, but I also need this piece because if you noticed in my card, I add a little brad, and on the back, I want the brad to be hidden. So I'm going to cover it with the piece. Okay.
Oh, that's another smart move.
This extends my flap by just putting a smidge of glue. I'm going to bring, because I'm using glue and I've got my mat here, I'm going to bring in some scrap paper. I should just use my silicone mat, but use my, I want the tiniest edge of glue. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to add, overextend. I'm extending ever so slightly. Can you see that I extended that just about 1/8 of an inch?
Yeah.
We need that to make my hinge on this side. So I'm going to bring my trimmer in again. I probably should have done it before my glue was on there. I'm going to get rid of my cutting blade. I want that out of the way. And I'm going to do that same amount, but I'm going to score it. So I just wanted about a little less than 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to score it back and forth.
And you're just essentially creating a little door on your box, right?
Exactly what I'm doing. Before I mount my door, though, I want to take my thing, but it's just, how about that? Usually I don't have the right on it. So I'm going to bring in my piercing mat, and I am just going to poke a hole right here in my door. And I'm going to bring in, I've hid those. These are the round and square brads, and I'm going to take a white one.
Which I have not used those before this card. I have not actually used them before.
Camouflage it. So I'm going to take my blend, because blend is alcohol based. You can write right on you can color right on this brad and make it any color you want. And now would have been cute wild wheat, but I'm going to let it kind of blend in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and put my brad in. And I'm going to open it up here. And, because I want things to look complete, then I'm going to take that piece, which I've hidden, and I'm going to glue it right on top of that brad. Just like so. Okay, so that camouflages my brad. You don't see it. It goes right up to the edge. I've got a little extension. Now I can put my glue there, and that makes my little flap. But before I do that, I want to stamp my greeting. Now on my card, I stamped, "So glad that you're my dad." But I was thinking about it, and I decided that I thought I would do a retirement card, because every good fisherman that retires, I'm looking for my piece, needs a full tackle box. So I just felt like, I'm going to make this a return card. And so the stamps colors you need for this card, let me move those out of the way, are Smoky Slate and Real Red and Basic Gray. So I'm going to stamp my greeting, Happy Retirement, in Basic Gray. Then I'm going to stamp my, oh, you need boho blue, the boho blue too. Then I'm going to stamp the fish, the kind of that sinkery fish in, hold on, I got it right here, Smoky Slate. I'm like, I know it's here. I'm going to do it in Smoky Slate, but I want it stamped off. I want it to just be an underlayment. So I just want that to look like it's underneath there. And then you have my blue. Oh, yes, here it is. I'm going to use blue, but actually, yeah, I'm using blue. I use that and I think it's okay. I'm going to stamp that off. And then I'm, again, I in the eye, and I'm going to put that right in there. And so it's just a little underlayment for that Happy Retirement. So
It's pretty.
This can be mounted inside the card just like the other pieces were. So a little bit of glue, a little bit of liquid adhesive. You can tuck that right in here. And then it's time to put our little flap on.
I really do like this whole suite and the bundle, because there's like, you're doing retirement or Father's Day or congrats, or it doesn't matter what you're using. It's like there's so many good things you can do, and it's just such a great masculine suite, right?
That's right, for sure. So I've got that flap on there, and I've just put a little glue, but because I extended it down here, it allowed me to lay it up on here, gives me a place to adhere it, and then that's got the little greeting. So I would want that to dry before I started really messing with it. But once it was dry, I would want to work that hinge so that it was super easy for the recipient to open. Okay, so now we've got the base of our card. We can move that aside. We will do a little bit of stamping. We're going to stamp the little bobber on, I have the bobber here on our paper. It's really
You
hard.
wouldn't be losing things, would you?
Hard for me to pick things up with these fingernails. They're a little thicker than I'm used to. I hate talking about them, but they're little, I don't know what that
They're
is.
taking you some getting used to, huh?
A little bit. And just like you did on the bobber, we're going to add the detail, and I'm using Real Red. I like a little Real Red bobber. And then you're going to stamp, I think that's only stamping we have actually. So I'm going to cut that out. This is the piece that you would use. You would run this under the die. And this is the piece we want. So after you cut your bobbers out, you would run this under the die, and you would have your flap for your greeting right here. So
that's a great idea too, so that you're not having to try to figure out the measurements or cut it. Just use that corner of the die to cut it out.
That's exactly right. And
I would have totally overthunk that. I'd have overthunk that.
Maybe I was smart on my stuff. And then this piece, you're gonna, I don't know, maybe you're gonna die cut 2 stick bobbers. So you're gonna have 2 sticks and 2 of the bobber, and you've got plenty of paper here. So you're gonna cut those because we're gonna color those, and I've done that already for you. Then you're going to cut. I'm just going to show you everything that you're cutting. Then you're going to cut the nice thing about the spoon is that the little tail is part of it, and then when you cut it, it's 2 pieces. And then the last thing you need is these fish hooks, and there's 2 per die. So you just need to cut it twice for each card. So you probably have enough here for both cards, but I've included 2 pieces. So you have plenty. If you want to add extra hooks in your tackle box, then you've got plenty of pieces. So let me bring the pieces in. I want to put my things away. I want to bring all my pieces in and show you what I have. So I pre-cut my 2 bobbers. I've got my 2 bobbers. I pre-cut my spoon. Whoops. Here's my little spoon. Here's the little spoon tail. I pre-cut my stick bobbers. There's one. There's one. I don't know where my other stick is. It's right here. Tiniest little piece. Right there. So it goes like that. And then these I cut with the metallic paper, and then I cut the little fish hooks. And I think I have one of those right here. I needed 4 of those. And this is the inside of my card. So let me move all these pieces so you're not confused. This is what we have. So we're going to start by adhering the little bobbers. You could use liquid glue. You can use your seal. And I'm just going to put those first in my tackle box. Now, when you get to this, I've left a little tip on the tutorial. If you want your bobbers to be shiny, you can go one more step. If you think, hello, Mary Ellen, I've done enough for this card. It is what it is, then leave it as it is. It's fine. Can you see my bobbers that they're shiny?
Oh, yeah, you can. Now I see it.
What I did was I just took my Versamark pad and I inked up these bobbers, and you could do it before you even cut them out. You could keep them on the paper just like this. You could take a Versamark pad and Versamark that, add clear embossing powder, heat it up, and then you've got 2 shiny, just a way to step up having these look a little more realistic. This way is perfectly fine. Trust me. Then
you are going to have to send me one of these cards.
I know I do. Let's work on our little spoon. And what we're going to need for that is we're going to need a little piece of the silver twine, right like this. This one is a little fussy because the holes are a little small. So bear with me here. Just take your time to thread these together. There's 2 sides. It doesn't matter which side you use. Except mine's just doesn't.
And I never would have thought of that thing would be called a spoon.
I didn't think it was a spoon, but my husband says it's a spoon. So if someone can comment and tell us it's something different, then please, just let us know.
Yeah, I was like, a spoon.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I trust him. I trust him because I don't know.
We're fishing ladies. Oh, you guys might have to trust me on this thing. I'm gonna try
so you're just threading that through there and just kind of tying it on with that with the trim, the silver trim.
Yeah. Okay, I think I did it.
Cute.
Oh boy, the silver trim is a little excuse me, a little fussy because it's doesn't want to make a knot
easily. Yeah, you got to kind of play with it a little.
But because we're going to mount this with dimensionals, I think if I leave enough there, I think I'm okay. So I'm going to take some dimensionals. Hold on, I got to get a drink.
You're fine, no worries.
Got a little bit of a dry cough still. A lingering dry cough left over. Okay, 2 dimensionals here. I'm going to grab some minis. Let's see if I got minis on my desk. No, I don't have minis. So I'm going to grab, I'm going to cut a little piece here. And that's going to go, oh, see, it already came undone. Well,
they know the point. They know what you're trying to do.
I know. You could probably just take that. You're gonna make it a faux one. You're gonna put the little tail here.
Yeah, there you go.
If you can get the twine to work and cooperate, go for the twine. If you want to just lay it down, you could even glue
that works.
You could glue the twine between here and below, no one would be the wiser. Excuse me. So I think if you just had it like this, I think it looks perfectly fine.
I think so too.
So now we're gonna finish out our fish hook.
We could make this version, the other version you had it like with the embossing and it's all glittery. This one is more like, hey, it's just, it doesn't have to be, you can still have it over the top, but with a little less, you know what I mean? And it still looks just as great.
Yeah, if you have a secret on these little fish hooks and gluing, let me know.
Adhesive sheets.
Yeah,
Adhesive sheets are my new favorite thing that I have very much been underutilizing, and now I'm using on everything that is a thin die cut is using adhesive sheets.
This one is it's horribly thin.
It's so small. Yeah, when you get to some of these really thin things, it's just like those adhesive sheets are like, why have I not been using this all of my life? It's like they really make a big difference on those small die cuts.
Okay, I'm gonna try to finish this off with liquid glue because I didn't use my adhesive sheets. So if you have not done your card yet and you have adhesive sheets, baby, get them out.
Yeah.
And use them.
Put it on the back of the silver.
I'm gonna add
before you die cut. So you take the adhesive sheet, you put it on the back of the silver, and then die cut it out, and then the silver will already be sticky for you, ready to go.
Exactly. So now we're going to add a couple dimensionals onto the little lead weights. We're going to put those on our card, and that will help hold those little fish hooks down too. Sorry if I'm going off camera. It's not my intention.
No worries.
Okay, so I'm going to do that. Now we just have to do our two stoppers and we're going to do our twine. So let's go ahead and grab our scrap paper again. You know, it's hard. I want to rip that off, but I'm not going to. I'm going to let it
resist.
Let it drive you totally insane. Resist. Yeah, right.
Resist.
Right. So now we're going to get, I know that you're going to be like, seriously, M.E, you're going to color that with blends, but I am. I'm going to use my copper clay, and I'm just going to color my stick with copper clay. And I'm not going to really worry about, and sometimes I would worry about like, oh, I could make this really look round. I could leave it like that. I'm going to tell you, if you really are like insane like me at coloring, you could take your dark and just go on the very edges. You do not need to do this because you're the only one that's going to ever know. No, you did it.
Oh my goodness gracious, girl.
I don't. I think it actually makes it look round. Am I nuts?
As soon as you did it, it was like, now it looks like a stick. It didn't look like a stick before, but now it does. It's those little tiny details, but I can also hear some of my stamper friends going, oh my goodness, the amount of detail.
Let it go. Let it go. Now I didn't bring a Post-it note with me, but what I'm going to do is I'm on this little stick bobber, just like this. I'm going to take a straight edge. I'm going to go from corner to corner, and I'm just going to take my black blends and I'm going to draw a line just like that. And I'm going to do that on both of them. This is just, there is a die, and I'll show you here in a second. There is a die. So if you are wanting to do the one side with a color, there is a die for that, but I wanted to color mine with just markers. So I'm going to start and color one side with the wild wheat. And you know what? Honestly, I want to tell you that I'm going to be transparent. Can I be transparent, Betsy?
Please tell me all your secrets, my dear.
So here's my transparent thing. I did this so long ago, I can't exactly remember how I did it. But I think I know.
Because I'm looking at the card over there on the left thinking, how'd she get that so realistic looking?
Just wait. So I like to do shading. So I used a light smoky slate, and now I'm going to my dark smoky slate. And I do the same little thing. I just color the edges just like this, a little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then I go back with my light and I blend that baby in.
Okay.
Leave the center a little bit light, but as it dries, that's going to definitely look more three-dimensional. You can already tell now. So I do the same thing with the wild wheat. I start with the light. I bring in a little bit of dark, wiggle, wiggle, kind of coloring it on the edge. And then I'm going to take my light and I'm going to blend it in.
Yeah. You are
It
the
gives
master. You are the
it gives
master colorer.
I love the color. It
I
gives
do
it a
too.
three-dimensional look.
It
Okay,
does.
so it's like that. Let me go back and do this one. Just a little wiggle, wiggle. Whoops. Such a small piece. It really is. I mean,
Mhm.
if you were stamping it, it'd be one thing because you would, stamping and die cutting it, but this is just a die cut. So it's not like I have a lot of room to work on that. I'm going to go all the way on this one, see if that makes a difference. Yeah, see, look, I'm going to do it on here too, because I do think that's what I did. You can see
Mhm.
the dark edges coming out.
Mhm. Yep.
This
That's
is
perfect.
yeah, just a little dark. Wiggle, wiggle. Come back in with the light. It takes a little extra effort, but in the end, you're going to be so much happier with it because it's just going to look rustic, antique-y. This looks like something that would be in grandpa's tackle box to me. It
Yep.
just looks like something that would be in grandpa's tackle box that he's had forever. So now
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and run a little bit. I'm just going to tack a little bit of glue here in the center. I'm working with such small pieces. I'm so afraid everything's going to stick to each other. And I'm going to
Yeah, this one is definitely like a little bit of like a puzzle piece. You know what I mean? Putting all these little tiny pieces together. But oh my gosh, look at that, how cute it is.
Yeah, it is. And I'm sorry for this. I'm going to try to scale back. I've already gotten I know that's
It's very hard for you to make. I get it. I'm the same way. It's very hard sometimes to make a simple card that is not like over the top because we tend to want to overthink it.
well, yeah. And this, this one is so easy for that. I mean, this
Yeah.
tackle box part, yeah, super, super, super cute. I'm gonna do it just like I did on the other
Oh
card
my
with
gosh,
the
it's
lights.
so cute.
But yet there's more. Okay, so I'm gonna put this one.
But it needs
You've got
one
to
more
do
thing.
one more thing, and that is our twine right here. So I'm going to show you how to do that if I can find it. Here it is. This is not as hard as it looks. So my daughter, I was telling her, I go, oh gosh, it's been a while since I did this. I can't remember. And I go, I think I did it like this. And she goes, Mom, you're making a friendship bracelet. And I thought, it's a friendship bracelet.
Oh,
So I'm taking my twine and I'm folding it in half. And I
okay.
like to just take a piece of Scotch tape, just a piece of Scotch tape, or if you have washi tape on your desk, and I'm going to tape it down just like that. Okay.
Okay.
Then it's really curly. And I'm going to take a third piece. Okay. And all I'm going to do, and I apologize, is a little hard because these nails are just causing me problems, but they're also cute.
They're very
I'm
cute.
going to tie a knot. I'm going to tie a knot because I'm braiding. So I need to introduce a third piece. I'm going to tie one knot. Did I put my head right in the way?
Nope, you're fine.
And I'm twice. I had to have Abby come over and help me with it before because the second one seemed to give me problems. So if I can't get it done, I'm going to just tie it once, but I'm hoping I'm going to take it up here. I think I got it. Yes. Okay.
I don't know that I've
double
ever
knot.
made friendship. I don't know that I've ever made friendship bracelets, so I'm intently watching.
Oh, goodness. Okay, I'm going to cut off the excess and then we're going to braid. It's just braiding. She goes,
Okay.
"You're just making a bracelet, Mom." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're right." Super. I probably need another piece of tape now. Tape it down good. I'm also working on a surface that doesn't want to adhere tape to. So if I was on my just my desk surface, it'd tape down and be stuck for good. But okay, so I'm going to braid maybe 2.5, 3 inches, not much. It doesn't take long. If you don't want this part, just do some kind of a little knot or a little tie, or use one single strand. You don't need to do a braid. I just thought it was cute addition to the card, just like a fisherman's knot type of thing, or a rope. So I could just finish out right there. And I'm going to use my tape again. I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to use my tape again. I have plenty of tape with you. And then you're going to take a little piece of linen thread. I've got some right here. You could use linen thread. You could use whatever you've got that you can tie a piece of yarn. It doesn't really matter. And all I'm going to do is tie off my braid by slipping it under there. I give myself plenty this time. I'm being smart. Give it
There
a
you
good
go.
knot and give it a second knot. This I can do. I might waste a little bit, but that's temporary. Why I got these nails on, but I'm going to give that a cut. I'm going to give this a cut here. I'm finished with that. I can get rid of that, and I can tear off my tape. So now I've got a cute little
Look
braided.
how cute that is.
So cute. So now it's time to put it on our card. I put the knot down. I'm going to use mini glue dots. You probably want to use plenty of them. I think I'm going to try this method. I'm going to put one dot right on that knot. I'm going to put another dot on it. On the up here just a little bit. I'm going to start with that. I'm going to start with it over here. And I just want to curve it around. So I'm going to use my glue dots on my paper to actually manipulate it around. Okay.
And put it where you want it to go. Smart. Smart.
Okay, this is nice and thick, so it's going to cover those mini glue dots just like that. And that's just in our tackle box, laying in there with our little stick bobber. And then we just have to finish it off with whatever. I kind of poked on that one. Did I have another piece? I don't, but I'm going to use this one anyway. And then stamp the inside of your card. So this one says happy retirement. And then I think I'm just going to finish. We don't have any like fish on this card either. So what do you think, Betsy, if we just finish it with the same fish? I
think
that
so.
would be perfect.
I think so. It's perfect. Yep. I mean, that's what all these little things are for, is to catch some fish. So why not put a fish in there?
That's exactly what I'm thinking. You guys can do whatever you want. We would love it if you would share your ideas and what you put inside your card. Just ignore that little bump there.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, we'd love to see what you're making, because that's the best thing about this, is sharing the ideas, and how did you make it your own, and what colors did you use, and yeah, it's always makes it so much better.
I'll try to get all that clutter. So there's my cards, and I'm sorry it took an hour and a half to make this card, but so worth it. So worth it.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it. Oh, love it.
Yeah, so adorable. I mean, who want to get this cute little happy retirement card?
Oh my gosh. Just remember, the card that you're sending me has to have Happy Father's Day in it, because that's the one I need to send my dad. Okay.
This one that says, so glad that you're my dad. It's in the mail. It's in the mail.
That's the one you have to send me.
Holding the card. It's got your name on it, babe.
Thanks. Yay, we did the gone fishing.
Okay. See, that was so much fun. I hope everyone enjoyed making those cards. I'm sorry. I'm sure this video has gone extra long because that last card was insanely detailed, but It's so worth it. If you,
Yes.
and you know what? This is how I feel about it, Betsy. Even if you learned something like coloring the side of the adhesive strips, you learned a little something, or covering your bobber with the Versamark and the clear embossing powder. Even if you don't do your card like that, you've learned that for some other card. So then
Sure.
I'm happy. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's talk about next month.
Yes.
So
Yes. Exactly.
next month, so if you're just tuning in and you don't subscribe to Stamp It Your Way, this is a monthly class that Betsy and I do together. We do 4 cards. You do 2 of each card. So you do 8 cards total, but 4 designs. And so each month we pick a bundle of products. And so next month, we're really excited. We're going to do the inked and tiled stamp set, which goes with punches. Look, yeah, punches.
Yep.
So that's nice. We love punch bundles, but this paper is beautiful. I'm not opening up. You'll see it next month, but trust me, it's gorgeous, and you're probably going to get some of it for free. So what you do is you get $20 worth of product in your package, along with your 8 cards, and it's $35 a month. And so it's a fantastic deal because you're getting product. You're going to use some on your cards, and you're going to have tons left over to use on other projects. Right, Betsy?
Exactly. And they get us. They get
And
this. They get us.
so we do full tutorials, and then we do the one video each month, and it's all contained in a month. So we advertise that on the 1st of the month, and you can sign up through the 10th of the month. And then we order the product after that, and we start prepping the product. So it takes a little while. So be patient with us. We write the tutorials, we do the video, and then we send that out to you. We send the tutorials for you to print out and have, and then you can watch the video if you're a visual person and just like to see everything. So we do that all contained within 1 month. So
exactly. The great thing about the video is that we're with you, whether you subscribe or not, because we want to be inspired. And just for anybody who's watching this, if you're seeing Mary Ellen's light in the background go off and blinking on and on, it's just her bright personality just shining throughout the room there. So that's what's going on with her little light in the background. But
that's my friendship. That's my friendship light. And because my internet went off and the Wi-Fi went off, it decided to go crazy. But I like the bubbly personality. Yeah, I love that.
Exactly. It's my friendship to you, and that's how much my friendship is. Like, I'm just throwing color at you constantly.
It is my favorite color. We'll have to explain the light some other time.
We will have to explain that. All right. So for the inked botanical, inked and tiled, inked botanicals this week, I wanted to show just a couple quick little samples. Good. I did get a couple swaps with this to kind of give you an idea. These aren't the cards we're doing. Look at you getting in closer.
I know. I can't wait. I want to see them.
I'm sorry. I looked up, and all of a sudden it's like your face is right there. We're tired. It's getting late, and now we're getting really giddly. All right. So a couple cards. Here's one. Okay. This one is actually made by Julie Davison, who is a very good friend of ours. This was a swap card I got from her, and she's using quite a few of the items from the suite, including the paper. This is the punch. There's that board. There's a bordered ribbon that goes in that suite. It's just really pretty, right?
So
love that. Here's another one that I got. This was in a suite. This was in a swap I did. This is Angie Leach. She is Too Cool Stamping. She made this one. I just love it. It's so pretty.
That's pretty. Is that paper, or is that embossed panel on the left?
That is the paper. That is the paper. It is not embossed. It's actually the paper. And again, use the punch. I love the fact that these punches, you can use them in multiple ways. So here she used the punch to create the greeting. Right?
Looking at that. Yes. Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, and then I saved the best for last here. Okay. So Sue Campfield, Sue Campfield, and she's Sue Stampfield for her business. But I ran into her on our recent trip, our recent incentive trip, and we were talking in the elevator, and it was like I love everything that she does as far as like she does these wow techniques. So this little guy slides off. And then this is the card.
No way.
Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? All of these different layers, but that is the card. And then
I think everyone should raise their hand who wants Betsy to make that be one.
I could do that. I could do that. I could totally case this card. Look at that. I mean, isn't that just gorgeous?
Yes.
Right? I'm just like, oh, I love it. So there's just some ideas of what the inked botanicals and the inked and tiled looks like, which we're going to be doing next month.
Yay. Super excited about that. So
yes. Phew, Mary Ellen, what a night. We did it. Yay. It's done. So
guys, I know everyone's tuned out. It's just you and me, Betsy. It's just you.
At this point, everybody's like, shoo, these ladies just are talking and talking and talking. So yes, it has been a long night. We are so glad. If you're still sticking with us at this point, we are so glad that you did. Please remember to subscribe to our channels. Please join us each month. We usually post, what is it? The last Wednesday of the month, right?
Really, usually the last Wednesday, or you know, sometimes the next to last, but
yeah, somewhere around in there, depending on what's going on or what we're showing, but typically the last Wednesday of the month. We post this video to our we premiere it on our YouTube, and so that you can, and we're watching with you, so please comment and talk to us. We'd love to hear what you think, and any comments or questions, and share with us what you're making. Time to say goodnight.
Yes, I'm sleeping.
All right. Mwah, mwah, mwah. We love you all. Have a great evening, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.